Hey guys, happy Tuesday. It's Talk to Me Tuesday for this September 7th, 2010. This is Jennifer. It's a very overcast, rainy day here in Central Texas today, thanks to Tropical Storm Hermine. And I'd like to point out to all my fellow Harry Potter fans that we're only one letter away from this being a very Harry Potter tropical storm. My son says it's for the best because he would not want Hermione remembered for potential destruction and flooding and whatnot. So he probably has a good point. But still, one letter away. Today it's going to be old and new and fun. So first I think we'll start with the new. I bought just a whole load of some Ninja fabric. This is Kanji Ninja fabric from Alexander Henry. And the first thing I did was make Ninja pillowcases. I made 3 of these. This one is in use, which is why it's all wrinkly and everything. For my husband who wanted Ninja pillowcases. So I love this fabric. It's really cool. It's a really nice high quality cotton fabric, so should last for a good long time. And then I put this cool like swirly fabric at the top. The big thing is after I made those pillowcases, he told me how much he would really like to have a kimono made out of those. I have a kimono pattern that I drafted for him just like years ago. I don't even know, the first one I think I made in 1996 maybe. And at the time I didn't have any quilting supplies because I wasn't a quilter, so it was like yardstick, chalk, and me figuring out this this pattern. So this is based on a jacket pattern that I used to have. It was a patternless pattern, and so I basically just took the shape and changed it so that it would be a robe that would be appropriate for a guy that's 6.5 feet tall. So I went back and I bought the fabric, which is not really hard since I bought it from where I work. And it's going to be hard to show you this, but I will insert a picture so you can see my darling hubby in this. And I posted on my craft blog last week about this fabric. When I did Fabric Friday, I talked about this fabric, and I talked about this robe, which is very big. Please remember, my husband's 6.5 feet tall. It's touching the floor right now, so this was like how much bigger he is than me. But nice big robe, nice big open sleeves. Like I said, it's kimono style. Has a belt matching. I did document this, so I might do a tutorial. I'm seriously thinking about it. It'll take me a little while to write up, but like I said, it's a patternless pattern, and you can really do it with just measurements. And it takes a lot of fabric. That's 6.5 yards. But he loves this robe. He says it's the most comfortable robe he's ever had, and that, I mean, just this style of robe. And it's hard to find robes that fit guys that are as tall as my husband is. So this one actually goes all the way to the floor, and he really likes it like that. Also, something else sort of old that I made a few weeks ago and totally forgot to share on here. This was a tutorial on my craft blog. And this is my accordion folder. I did a makeover. This had like a real cutesy school days, school bus kind of shiny, plasticky cardboard finish on it. And so what I did was I recovered it. I put a little batting in there. I put new labels on for what I wanted. This was a piece of leftover ribbon that was on a Christmas gift that my husband gave me a few years ago. For anybody that's been following me for a while, he bought me a super nice pen when I was contracted to sell a quilt book, which was later canceled, but he bought me a really nice pen to sign my contract with, and this is the ribbon that was around that pen. Also, a really old craft, I made references a couple weeks ago when I was showing my Linus quilts to a quilt that I started 5 or 6 years ago. I'm not even entirely sure when I made this quilt top. It's one of the first large quilt projects that I did, and it's the first quilt project I did for myself. When I was learning, I was making a lot of quilts for Linus, and I did a lot of 4 patches and 9 patches and rail fence and that kind of thing. But this was the first one where I took the pattern, I cut out all the pieces, and then I made the top. And then what happened was a moment of insanity where I decided that in order to be a real quilter with little bunny rabbit ears, I had to hand quilt a project. I don't agree with that anymore. I really don't think you have to hand quilt something in order to be a real quilter. But I've learned that the hard way. So I have been working on this project for 5 or 6 years. I've been hand quilting it. It's not done yet. This is what I worked on over the weekend. The hand quilting is really simple. I'm just doing a straight line stitch right inside of the seam allowance around all of the black shapes, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. Despite the fact that that's all I'm doing, I have literally been hand quilting this off and on for 5 or 6 years. I even took it on vacation a couple years ago. Everywhere that there's a pin, which is mostly just in this corner now, these are all the ones that I still have to stitch, and you can see there's my needle right there. I did a lot of stitching this weekend. I don't know, we watched a bunch of Firefly episodes this weekend, and I just stitched because I had some things on my mind, and watching Firefly and stitching was one way to sort through some of those. So I did that. This is called Electric Amish. It was named by my friend Linda, who thought it looked sort of Amish, but very electrically so because of all of the bright batiks. I can't put a really good picture of this right now because it's pouring down rain outside, and I usually take my pictures of my quilts on my fence outside, and this is too big for my design wall, so I can't hang it up there either. So let me see if I can find some of the less repulsive hand quilting, and I will show you. Let's see, this one's not too bad. See, it's just, it'll focus on that. I'm just echoing the shapes with just a running stitch. It's not really small stitching. I had no idea what I was doing when I started working on this, and now I'm just sort of trying to be consistent so that I can finish. This quilt's for me, so I'll keep it when it's done. And I actually had a moment of, oh, I'll just put the binding on by machine, and then I went, oh, I'll put the front on by machine, but I'm gonna hand bind the back because seriously, it took me this long to quilt it. It would be ridiculous of me to machine bind this quilt after all this hand quilting. HP5 Freak sent this to go to the Linus connection. This is going to be a challenge entry. She calls this Eye of the Tiger. And the challenge this year is orange yarn. So orange yarn for the knitters and crocheters, and a specific orange fabric for the quilters. So I thought I should show you guys this because it's completely awesome and done in her very distinctive style using multicolors of yarn. And I'm going to show you guys this. She doesn't have loose ends in here. She works with her yarns all attached, and I think that's freaking amazing. And she's the one that designed the brick pattern that I showed you guys last week. And I think that's going to be it for now. You guys have a good week. If it's raining where you are, stay dry, stay happy, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.